Hey, welcome everybody to another Laser Distractions. As you can tell, I'm in my nice and cool office tonight. It is just ridiculous hot out there. And although I can take it, I just not wanting to run that laser. I'm guessing if all this climate change stuff keeps going on, I'm going to have to buy a mini split or something for out there in the garage, because the fan blowing on me will make it where I can hang, but I don't want to tear up the laser trying to run it. By the way, I've got my buddy Jack here. This poor old squirrel, look at this thing. It's got all the stuffings coming out of it. But you know, it's showtime, so he thought, yeah, I needed to bring that in here to me. So he's my co-host tonight, I guess. But so anyway, I don't really have a whole lot planned. I thought it might be a good time. You know, I don't know how long the new version of Lightburn is out. Any of you guys that use Lightburn that have got the latest, greatest version, is there anything earth-shattering on there? You know, because the last, I don't know, I guess it's probably been the last month or so, every time I go to open Lightburn and it comes up and prompts me that there's a new version, I always just skip it and don't get it, because I don't want to waste the time in case there's anything weird going on. So y'all let me know if you've got the latest, greatest. I'm going to get Lightburn opened up over here. I will share my screen and we will. Yeah, here we go. See here, as soon as I open it, it says version 1.4000 is available. Would you like to download it? So tonight, I'm going to say yes. It will. Please quit Lightburn and run the thing. Okay. So we'll okay, I guess it's already done. Doesn't take long, I don't think. So I'm going to run through the motions here. Hopefully it won't disconnect me. All right, Steve says 1.4 has been stable. Okay. I'll take your word for it, Steve. John says a distort tool for lettering. Okay. I don't know if that's something I'd use a lot or not. Let's see. Let me see if it's doing all this behind my other screen, so I'm having to. Okay, now it's going to open it back. Okay. Let me get back over here. Oops. There we go. Okay, so now, yep, here, yeah, 1.400. So let's see if they have. I thought they had a thing that tells you what's new, but I don't know. Quick help and notes. I don't think I'm going to learn anything new there. Probably not that much changed, but and I think I'm trying to think when I purchased Lightburn, because I think you're good for like a year, and then after that you have to either ante up or just use it without any updates, I believe. So, okay, Orion's 1.006. I don't know if that's what I didn't pay attention to see what I was on before I did that. Steve says it's on the blog section on their website. Okay. I don't imagine I'm going to be doing anything that's going to throw me for a loop. I do have a little bit of an update, although I haven't. I mean, most of y'all know I'm working on a square drop camper build, and man, I haven't put a video out now. It's been about 3 weeks, I think, and it's because I have shot a few clips, recorded a little bit, but I'm really doing all the really boring stuff now. A lot of sanding, Bondo in the holes, that kind of stuff. And then I realized that before I put the start waterproofing it, I need to finish up the gallery because I've just kind of been putting that off. And then there's some things the way I've got it designed where I have to finish it and put the stuff inside because I'm not going to be able to get it in once I enclose that outside part. So I thought, well, I better finish that. So what I've been doing is, like I said, I go out one day and I'll do one thing, and then the next day of course it's so god awful hot out there. I go out there to finish up a certain part, and then I'm like, I got to break it up. Let me go do something else. So I'll work on something else just to kind of keep it interesting. And that's why I haven't really shot any video. I've shot a few clips, and I know there's probably some people wondering why I haven't put another video out, but I have not stopped working on it. It's just that it is so, first of all, being so daggum hot, I go out there in the morning or, early afternoon and work 2 or 3 hours, and I'm just totally shot. And then I might go back out there again and work another hour or two. Not that it's cooled off any, but once the sun has gone far enough around that the driveway where I work at is in the shade, but it's slow going. And a lot of the stuff I know when I'm watching other videos, and trust me, I've watched a ton of them, but when I'm watching other videos of builds like that, I don't want to see a whole lot of the boring parts. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind as I'm working on this stuff. I'm like, well, it's going to take me a minute to get another video out, but once it's out, I'll basically just be saying, okay, here's what I've been working on, and we'll get you up to speed here, and you'll get to see that I haven't been just goofing off. I have been working on it, but it's been a slow go. Rob says the boring part is when I start a new project. Well, with this particular build, it wouldn't take much. Like the first few videos, you could see a lot of changes, different things going on. But now I'm to the point where I feel like I shouldn't put out a video until it's going to be obvious to people that there's a big change, because I'd have to go around and say, well, I've been working on this. It doesn't look any different, but yeah, it's a lot different. But I finished up I think I finished up the Bondo today. The only part I haven't put that filler in is where the two pieces of plywood come together at an angle, and there's a big kind of a V-shaped gap there. And I've kind of changed my mind on that. I tried doing a little section of that with the Bondo, and again, the weather's causing a problem, because with Bondo, I don't know if you've ever worked with, and when I say Bondo, I'm talking about body filler or wood filler, and Bondo's the brand. But it comes in a can. It looks kind of like peanut butter. You scoop a bunch out and then take the tube, looks like toothpaste, and put a little hardener in it and mix it up. And you don't have a whole lot of, you don't have a lot of working time before the stuff starts getting so gummy and you have to just throw it out. But with this heat, you really don't have a whole lot of time. And I found that I was having to mix just really small, dinky, you know, about the size of, well, y'all probably don't even remember a $half, but about the size of a $half and just a little drop of hardener. Mix it up and then real quick go around, try to hit the screw, because all the screw holes I have, countersunk where they're below the level. So I'm having to fill those in. And you just have to work like crazy before that stuff. The first couple batches I made up, I ended up throwing half of it out because I couldn't get it. There wasn't enough working time. So I've decided for those really big seams, I'm going to try a product by Total Boat called Thick Sew. I saw another guy using that, and I've got a tube of it. Hopefully, it's enough to do what I want. If I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of it, I thought, well, I'll buy one. But it comes in a tube. It's like a really thick caulk type stuff, but it comes in a tube that you put in like a caulking gun, and it comes with two nozzles. So you screw the nozzles on, and the hardener is inside that nozzle. So when you first squeeze it out, the first 3 or 4 inches will be just waste because you won't get a good mixture. But then after that, you get the right mixture. And I could have sworn that I read on Amazon, I think that's where I read it, that you have like a 55-minute working time. Well, then when I got it and started reading the tube, it said more like 30 to 35 minutes. So I thought, well, that's still pretty good. But of course, that's in optimal weather conditions where you're putting it in at about 70 or 80 degrees. And if it's, 90 to 100, I'm sure the working time will be less. But I think from what the guy I watched, it looks like it's a lot easier because he just had some gloves on and would squirt it down a seam and then just take his finger and kind of smooth it out. And it looked like it worked really good. And then, of course, that stuff, um, they say it takes about 24 hours for it to cure completely. So once once I can get that part done and get kind of satisfied that I've ready to put the spar urethane on, then I'll be doing that. So, and then hopefully, like I said, I was hoping I would get a lot more done from last Wednesday to this Wednesday, but it's still out there in the garage. Um, and Jerry says, add a little bit of fiberglass, the shell end. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've watched a ton of videos. I appreciate the advice, but I didn't, first of all, I didn't want to mess with fiberglass. And second of all, I've watched other guys that have, um, in fact, the one guy or two other guys, um, did just, bondoed and stuff like that, sanded it really good, then used some good exterior primer, put a couple 3 coats of that on there, and then did the Raptor liner. And they haven't had any problems with water leakage or anything like that. So that's the route I'm going. A lot of people do the fiberglass, and that's great, but I didn't want to fool with that stuff. I could just see myself making a big mess with that stuff. So yeah. But Jerry says that time of year to put projects on hold, it's just too hot. Okay, Jerry said he's And have these guys come back after a few months? Oh, the guy I'm talking about, well, there's two guys, and one of them followed, the advice of the other guy, and the channel's called Seeking Adventures. I can't think of the guy's name, but anyway, but he's the one that did it, and then this other guy, um, he followed what he did, and but the first guy, it's been like 2 or 3 years now since he's done it, so he's done you know a more recent walk around where he's talking about how long ago he did it and stuff like that. So um, I just feel like that will work good, but because I'm taking that extra step and putting the spar urethane, because I love that stuff, and I've got some stuff setting out back out in the weather that I put spar urethane on probably about 10 years ago, and it's faded and just discolored a little bit, but the wood's all still in great shape. I mean, they put that kind of stuff on boats and stuff. So, but I'm going to do that step, put a couple of coats on there, then come back and sand it to rough it up, put the paint on so that the paint will stick, and then probably sand it a little bit, rough it up again, and put the Raptor liner on there. So that's my plan for that. Let's see. Yes, I'm worried about the screw snapping with the flex. There's another guy. Go check his channel out if of course he builds all kinds of cool stuff, but he built a really slick camper. And what is that? Shawnee Hills is the name of the YouTube channel. And that guy built it. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I don't think he used fiberglass either, but he basically built a plywood box, kind of like what I'm doing. And he's taking the thing out, he built like an off-road, Moab and all that kind of stuff where he's dragging it through all kinds of places. And he hadn't had any trouble with anything falling apart. So, Ryan says Wood Brew wrapped up their camper. Yeah, I saw that. I think I watched that. Might have been this morning. I'm anxious to see more about theirs because the whole time they've been building theirs. Of course, they got a much bigger shop than I got. So, but it's been inside. So, it's all good until you get it out in the weather. That's where it really matters. So I'm hoping he has good luck with theirs, but it looks pretty slick. They did a good job doing theirs. And it's been a while, because they've been working on that since February, I think. But excuse me, yeah, it came out pretty good. All right, well, we're just sitting here shooting the breeze about all this other stuff. I haven't. One thing I was gonna try to make. I told you how I'm bad about putting my little license plates on leaning them up there and then pulling off and forgetting, and then they fall off somewhere down the road. I thought what I should probably do is laser cut me a license plate or some kind of blank to put over that thing. That way, if I take off and I lose it, it's not a big deal. I hated to lose this one because this one is one that Landis Stutes got me. I think that's who it was. He had this one made and sent it to me, and I just about lost it, but went around there the next day and found it laying on the side of the road. So I think I will draw up a blank. Let's see if I can. I still am not very good at drawing things in Lightburn, and it's mainly because I don't try, but I always stick to my old reliable here, Vectric V-Carve, when I'm going to work on something. And you know what? I'll bet you. Yeah, see, there's updates available for that too. It says version. Man, I can't see anything. 11.506 is available, so I'm on 501. So I guess I'm only like one behind. But anyway, I'm going to draw up a license tag real quick. Another thing I'd like to do at some point is, I got lots of time before I'm going to need it, but everybody likes those little camping signs you make. So I'm wanting to come up with one for that, but I've looked to get graphics and stuff for those things, and they always have a lot of them for the teardrop type campers or the little Shastas, or what's some of the other names of those things, but Airstream and stuff like that. But I thought, well, if I make one for myself, I want one that where it has a camper on it that looks like mine. So I guess I'll probably have to draw that myself too. But anyway, I'm going to create a new thing here. Let's see. I'll go ahead and put this. That's the size blank of those Home Depot blanks I use, 12 by 19. And I'll have to turn this thing the other way. Let's see. I don't know what the radius is on here. Let's just estimate it and see what it looks like. It's probably about a 1/2 inch radius. That's what we're going to call it. So we'll do external 1/2 inch radius. And then I better turn them the other way. I think a standard license plate is 12 by 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So we'll go 6 by 12. Okay, yeah, that worked. Now, move it over a little bit. Let's see here. I'm just going to guesstimate these little slots on here. This one has some pretty long slots. They're about 1 inch long. Man, this tape, they're so old, the lines are missing on some of it where they rubbed off. Okay, so it's about 1/2 inch down. Well, let's see. I probably should have left that. Let's see. I'll just do this. Yeah, put it back where it was. Oops. Well, nuts. Now I gotta go. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just put a line somewhere here. Well, let's see. I didn't look and see where that was. Let's do that again. Well, since that's a 1/2 inch radius, I should be able to just pick that point right there. There we go. Now, let's see how far apart these things are. Let's see, we'll put a center line here. Okay. Now we're going to make this, that needs to be about 1 inch by, so about 1/4 by 1 inch. And that looks like a full radius there. So that'd be a 1/8 inch radius. So let's see here. Do it like this. Nope, that's not doing it, is it? All right, let's do this. And order of one. Okay. We'll just stick one right there in the middle for now. And then we'll take this. Let's see here. May have to do some mathematics on this. So it's about 1 7/8 from there. Well, let's see here. There ought to be an easier way to figure this. 9 1/8. Well, let's just do it this way. Okay, so it's about 7 1/4 center to center. So let me just copy this one, paste, and then we'll move it down. Let's see, what did I say that was? 7 1/4. I think that's what I said. Yeah, 7 1/4 center to center. So we'll just move this one down. That looks about right. Now we'll move this one 7 1/4. Let's see. Jerry says, I've been staying out in the shop due to heat, but I could run the mini split, but it's like 108 right now. Yeah, well, how does your mini split keep up with when you do that? If it's 108, that's pretty toasty. Let's see here. Oh, this silly thing. All right, so we got those two. We'll mirror them. Where'd the mirror go? There we go. And let's see. No, that's not it. Oh, I got to do this, I think. Flip about line. There we go. Okay, so there's our little license plate blank. And usually when I do these, I will draw it up and save it in VCarve just in case I need to come back and change something. Okay, and then I'll highlight this and export this to an SVG. And then I have one ready to go here. So well, let's see. Right there. All right, there we are. So that will be, I think I'm going to do another character at some point too. You might have saw I was working on one called Rosie the Riveter. But the one that the graphic that I got online, like most of them, it needs a lot of work. So it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to sit down and, instead of trying to trace it, just bring the photo in and try to manually trace it. And it seems like it's easier to do it that way, although it takes a long time. So Jerry says it will keep it livable, but got to run for like 45 minutes to get there. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have really been catching it. I mean, it hadn't been quite that bad here, but it's and actually today, I don't know if I checked my my little weather app, and it was hot. It was I want to say 92, feels like 98 or something like that, and the humidity was about 50%. That's, that's a little sticky, but that's not as bad as what it usually is. But man, it sure didn't feel like that. It felt like it was a lot more humid out there than that. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to run some of these license plates. I think I don't know why I've never thought about making these little things. Of course, you'd have to replace them because you can't make them. You can seal them up and stuff, but making them out of that little 1/4-inch plywood material, they're not going to last forever out in the weather. But if you got a laser, you can easily just make whatever you want on them. So I might make something cool to maybe put on the front of my truck or something. But I do want to make one of those camping things too. Let's see here. I'll just go right here. Well, let's see. And then if you come to images, go to line drawings. So you get all kinds of stuff that you could do. But see, here's what I'm talking about. They always have a camper that's something like that. I haven't really been able to find one that looks like the one I'm making. So I'll probably just try to draw something else up myself and do it. But man, just a ton of stuff. And from what I understand, these things are pretty popular. Not that I'm going to make them to sell, but got a lot of cool stuff here. I mean, you can just scroll and scroll and scroll to get all the different things. That's cool in there. The one with Bigfoot, I like that. One thing I started to say it a while ago, and I got sidetracked, I guess. But one thing I have done is now with what I finished today, I've got the back part of the galley far enough along where I now finally know what size I need to make. Well, at least the depth. I know what depth I need to make those laser cut boxes with the finger joints that I'll be making, because I've got one shelf that's at the top of the galley when you open it up, and there's going to be about I'm going to have one door or hatch, I guess you'd call it, that raises up, but on the back it's not going to be the whole width of the camper. It's going to have about 6 inches on each side, and then have about a 4-foot door, roughly, not quite 4 foot, I think. So in that top shelf, when you get over to the side, there will be a spot where you can't pull anything out because it'll be behind there. But I'm going to be putting my electrical and all back in that left-hand corner. And a lot of the ideas I got for those boxes were from all the YouTube videos I've watched about hiker trailers, because a lot of the same features I'm putting in mine as I'm doing just like the way they make those. So I know the box needs to be 11 inches deep, and then the width is going to depend on how many I want to fit across there. And like I said, because you're going to have 6 inches of the back on each side, you know, if you go to get the one that's in that back far right or the far left, you'll have to pull one out in the middle and then slide them over. But they're not going to fall out for sure. So I can. Yeah, Jerry's got a good point. And I was thinking about that. You could make them out of acrylic on the laser. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I guess that would hold up pretty good. But anyway, that's like I said, I don't have a whole lot to show tonight. And the other thing, you know, it's not just the weather too. Like I said, the humidity and the condensation and stuff like that, I'd have to worry about with the laser, but just the dust and stuff too. Cause I've been making a mess. Cause when I'm sanding that Bondo, all that stuff, floats and gets on everything. So I still haven't cleaned off the laser, and I need to, go through and give it a thorough cleaning before I try to run it again. Cause I've seen some of those folks, and I'm sure you have too, Jerry, but some of those folks that post pictures in the Facebook groups, and they'll be taking a picture of their tube arcing or something, and it's like I'm thinking, man, I think my shop's nasty. Those folks that thing's filthy. It's like they never ever wiped it off with anything. I'm like, holy cow, people, But yeah, I don't want to be one of those people where I have one that nasty and try to run it out there. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and call this one a night here, because yeah, I know what you mean, Jerry. Because sometimes the same way with my shop. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm such a slob, and then I'll watch a YouTube video and I'm like, I ain't got nothing on that guy, But I am always envious when I see the people that have the really, really nice shop and everything, all the tools on the wall that are organized and stuff and all that. I wish that could be me, but it's just not me. That's just not how I roll. I haven't been like that in a long time, and it's just wishful thinking, I guess, because that's just not in me. That's just how I do it. I lay stuff around, but amazingly, I am pretty good at, it may be in a pile, but I am pretty good at putting stuff back in the same pile. So believe it or not, when I go to hunt for something, I usually know where it is, or which pile it's in. It may take me I have to move a few things off top of it to find it, but I do find it. So, except for a pencil, when I have pencils in my shop, I can take a dozen pencils out there. I can even take them to the bandsaw, saw them in half, so that now I've got 2 dozen pencils, sharpen them all up, scatter them out all over the shop, and still have to hunt for one. And then when I find one, it's like it's right next to 4 or 5 others. So I don't know. I don't know why that's my MO, but it seems like it is. But anyway, let's all wish a happy birthday to Robin. She said it was her birthday today, but I'm not going to ask how old she is. But Happy birthday, Robin. Hope you had a great day. And like I said, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up early because I don't have, if anybody, yeah, I mean, I know you can draw your own license plate, but if anybody would want that file, I'd be happy to make it available if anybody wants it. Although you saw it took me just, a couple of minutes to draw. It doesn't take long. So anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to get out of here then. And if anybody is a channel member, you know the drill. You can Facebook message me. And I got to think about something. I don't know how much longer that's going to work because I am seriously considering dumping Facebook. I am so fed up with Facebook, and it's such a time waster. Sometimes I'll catch myself sitting there scrolling through stuff, and I'm like, "What are you doing, Dave? Get up and go do something." But so I don't know. I may have to. I think, in fact, I was checking into it, and I've already downloaded my. You can go to Facebook and download your whole thing. And so I thought, well, let me do that just in case, because I was really thinking about just pulling the plug on it. So you have to request your own information, and then Facebook puts it in some kind of I say a file, but mine was actually like 6 files, and then it took probably an hour to download all 6 of those files. And then when I started clicking it, and I'm like, man, that's a lot of crap on there. So it just makes you realize how much time you've wasted, because mine was from January 13th 2013, I think. No, it was older than that. Anyway, it just makes you realize how much time you've wasted on that. So yeah, it's a big, it's, I mean, it's such a time waster. I don't know how else to say it, because you can't, you want to be on there because everybody else is, and that's kind of how you stay up to date with friends and family, and basically it's how you find out what's going on with folks that you don't talk to often. But it's such a pain in the ass to wade through all the crap and all the sponsored ads, and it's just crazy. So don't be surprised if one day you go, hey, it's been a couple days, I haven't seen old Dave on there, because I'll be gone, and you won't you can't find me, because that I've already asked or looked at the stuff, and they said, yeah, well, this is what happens when you get rid of your account. Or even if you just what's the word, disable it, something, I forget, there's another terminology they use, but you can just kind of put it on hiatus or something. But yeah. All right, well, let me get out of here. I've babbled on enough. If anybody, like I said, anybody wants this license plate file, that SVG, I'll throw it on the website or something, and you can download it if you want. Like I said, it's just the blank thing, easy to draw. But anybody that's a channel member, if you want to come hang out after we get off here, just send me a Facebook message, at least for the time being, and I will send you the link, and we'll hang out a bit. Other than that, that's all I got. Thank y'all for suspended. Thank you, Steve. That's what I was trying to think of. Because I guess, I'm not sure, I think from what I've read that when you suspend it, all your stuff stays there, and then you can come back at any time and all your crap that you put on there will still be there. But I guess when you delete your account, I'd be willing to bet though that they probably don't ever get rid of that whatever kind of crap you put on there. I bet you they hang on to everything. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here and I'll go open up Facebook and see if anybody wants to come hang out. And if you do, great. And if you don't, that's cool too. And we will see y'all next time. Hopefully I'll have something more exciting to do next week. So, and hopefully it'll be a little cooler. And hopefully I'll have that camper pulled out of there too. So anyway, y'all have a good one and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.